service plan, you choose the repair shop you want, and we cut them a check directly. Get a free consultation on a solid 5-year, 100,000-mile extended vehicle service agreement, no matter how many miles are on your car. You pick your own coverage, deductible, and payment plan. You even pick your own repair shop, and we pick up the bill. For a very limited time, the first 10 callers get a 25% discount if you call now with your current mileage. For your free quote, call 800-232-3260. That's 800-232-3260. Don't wait. Protect yourself from future expensive repair bills. Call 800-232-3260. That's 800-232-3260.
Airing on over 200 affiliates across America, this is Tim Connolly's Winning Strategies. Call now with your questions at 1-800-336-2225 or email talk@winningstrategies.net. Now, here's Tim Connolly.
And we're back with Wayne Allen Root, Jan Vandersandy, and Mike King, and ruminating about the market and gold. You know, Wayne, you really have been a big proponent of gold over the last months to year for sure. Now, since you're out there every day talking both politics and with tea parties and all of these people that are out there, is gold really being bought at a grassroots level more now than it has in the past?
Oh yeah, gold and silver has become the de rigueur, as they say, hot of the moment stock pick, hot of the moment financial pick, hot of the moment, contrarian pick. And I think, as much as I respect Jan and everything he just said about short-term gold, I'm not thinking short-term. I'm only worried about long-term. And for me, long-term isn't 10 years from now or 5 years. It's over the next year or 2 years. I think gold is going to go to 5,000 and much higher. I think it'll wind up at 10,000.
But
and I believe
if that happens, we are in total disaster in society worldwide.
And I think we are, Jan.
No,
I think we are.
But then, remember, you're losing track of one thing. All the people who buy gold for a disaster. If we have a disaster, what do you think these people are going to be doing? They're all going to be selling their gold to live.
Well, listen, when you talk...
It's going to start coming down because the people who hoarded it are going to start selling it to get the money they need to live.
Yeah, when you talk about a disaster, Jan, we're in the disaster now. California's bankrupt. New York's bankrupt. Illinois is bankrupt.
Yeah, but that's deflationary. That's deflationary.
You know, you're saying deflationary, but what's obvious is that Obama is going to keep spending and spending. When government spends and spends, they're going to have to print and print and print money. If you print money, you got inflation.
But the government doesn't print all the... It's also what the Fed does, and at the moment, the money supply is actually contracting at the moment.
Yeah,
and remember, the more debt, the more loans that go bad, that decreases the money supply. That decreases everything. So the more mortgages that go under, that decreases the money supply.
I understand, Jan, but I'm just telling you, in my opinion, universal health care will add trillions of dollars to the American debt.
But that's
going to be a disaster. It's years down the road, but it's starting now. Cap and trade could be tomorrow. Adding Puerto Rico as a state.
Cap and trade's not going to get passed.
Adding Puerto Rico as a state, legalizing 12 million illegal immigrants, card check, the list goes on and on. Another stimulus round, more bailouts. It's never going to end, Jan. This is a purposeful attempt.
None of that's going to happen anytime soon. We have an election. Nothing's going to happen before November.
Let me interject something here. I think that one of the reasons that gold is doing what it's doing is not about inflation.
That's right.
I think it's about security. I think it's about people are so scared about the fundamentals of the economy in the world. One, of course, people are flocking to the dollar again. We've seen the dollar rally, and the euro's now below $1.25. But two, Wayne, I think you're right from the viewpoint of people are buying more gold and they want it. I'm not sure it's necessarily an inflation hedge as just a security hedge. You know,
it's all of the above, no question.
I want to have something that I know I can get my hands on. It's why physical gold is in short supply. But let's face it, when you go to sell physical gold, because I've done it, you take a haircut when you sell it. And so you're better off holding things like GLD, which they store gold in huge underground caverns. And aren't they the biggest holder of gold, private holder of gold in the world now?
They are. They are, and that's where I've got my money in both GLD and also the gold mining index that was discussed a few moments ago by Mike and Jan. And I've also bought silver mutual funds as well, and I also own some physical gold bullion and also rare coins of gold and silver origin. I'm trying to have all of it in my repertoire because I believe we're headed for a 10-year Great Depression, and I think that's going to be the most valuable thing you could possibly own.
Well, I hope you're wrong, and I hope we get enough sanity that comes in the new group of people who are coming into office in November, who have to face that this country needs to be restructured. We need to freeze our budget now, and we need to balance it within 5 years so that we don't have this worldwide depression that you're talking about.
But there's two things that make me believe that that's not going to happen. First of all, Tim, number one is Jim Bunning. Okay, I can't think of a guy who took a more heroic stand than United States Senator Jim Bunning from Kentucky about 2 months ago. He tried to simply say if you're going to extend unemployment benefits, number one, they're not meant to be extended forever. Are we going to pay billions of dollars forever? If someone's unemployed for 20 years, will we pay it for 20 years? But if you're going to do it, then you've got to find cuts that correspond in other areas of the budget. And he was literally defamed, destroyed, denigrated, not just by Democrats, but by his own party, and forced to never run again for office. That was the end of his career for daring to state out loud in front of the Republican Party that we can't just extend unemployment benefits forever. That was the moment where I realized we're not getting out of this, because it's all about a popularity contest, and the majority of people want you to keep handing out the goodies. They want welfare. They want stimulus. They want gigantic billion-dollar raises in education spending, even though the public system has failed. They want you to spend on every possible thing you can even imagine, from free health care supposedly to cap and trade. They don't understand the damage it's doing, and we're becoming Greece. So Jim Bunning was the light, you know, in the air for me. It illuminated what's been happening. And number two, of course, is if you assume Republicans are going to win big in November, which I do. As a matter of fact, I assume it's going to be a landslide. You think that'll correct things. You know, George Bush had a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and we had a Republican president, and he was the one who started all this with his spending. So that's not
like
the answer.
Drunken sailors.
Yeah, so that's not the answer. That's the problem. There is no answer, because these guys believe to get elected and reelected, they have to bring home the bacon to their district. When you add it up, it's a disaster. It's been going on for 50 years. And the only thing I'm going to say is someone like Jan would probably say, well, it's been happening, and yet stock markets went up, and America thrived, and people thrived. The end is near. We never had $100 trillion in debt and unfunded liabilities. There is no way to get out of the mess we're in right now. It's impossible.
Well, there is. There's two ways of getting out of it. One of them is that people go bankrupt, default, which is extremely deflationary, and start new, which is capitalism. Or you totally inflate out of it, which is hyperinflation, like in Germany, which ends up in a depression.
Right.
In both cases, it would be a very bad economic period, but in both cases, the gold that you have will be useful because you can then convert it or spend it. But gold is not going to surge because people are going to spend their gold. And you hope it doesn't happen, Tim. I hope it doesn't happen, because society will be terrible to live in under those economic conditions.
All right, we're going to take our last break before the last segment of the week on winning strategies. So we have a few messages for you, and go check out the website, winningstrategies.net. Sign up. You can get great insights on the market, on the economy, politics, and life in general. We'll be back after these messages on Winning Strategies.
How do you feel? Where are your views on what you're hearing? Give us a call and share them with us at CRN Digital Talk. It's toll-free from anywhere in the USA. 1-800-336-2225. Again, that toll-free number, 1-800-336-2225.